Hey, this is Donald Jenkins, your Master Purpose Development Coach and the CEO of the Purpose Development Institute in Atlanta, Georgia. And welcome to Crushing Average TV, the only place on YouTube, and I take it a step further, the only place online where you can come and develop skill set on how to reverse the effects of PDD. Now, you might be asking, what in the world is PDD? Well, PDD is a research term that we coined here at the Purpose Development Institute called purpose deficit disorder. And simply put, PDD affects us in every aspect of our life. That's the reason why we have to acquire the skill set on how to reverse the effects of PDD, because it worked hard behind the scene to chain you to average. So today, what we're going to be talking about, PDD in men. We're going to be looking at how PDD chained men to just being average. And that's the last thing that we want to do as a man. We do not want to be an average man and to fit within the categories, the narratives that has been created around men being dogs and men are this and men are that. We want to make sure that we can create a different narrative when it comes to who we are as a man. So I'm going to unpack a lot for you today that's going to be extremely important, that's going to put you in a very powerful position to understand how to identify and begin to acquire the skill set on reversing the effects of PDD. So before we do that, let's do a little housekeeping. Make sure that you share this video and subscribe to this channel. Number one, subscribe to this channel, because this is going to be your go-to resource in reversing the effects of PDD. And if you keep hanging around, you're going to understand why you need that resource in your life. So make sure that you subscribe. Then after you subscribe, make sure that you like the video. And then give us your comment. Tell us what you're thinking about the insight that I am getting ready to unpack for you today. So if you have any men in your network, which I know that you do, share this video. Make sure that you send it out in a text thread. Share it with everybody in your network, because every man in your network needs to hear what I'm getting ready to unpack for you today. So let's look at PDD in men. All right, let's break down PDD first, and then we'll connect it to men in our society. All right. So when we're looking at PDD, we're looking at, again, it's not a medical condition. It's a condition of the soul that affects how we make decisions in life. Okay. It affects our day-to-day decision. It's in other words, PDD is so much more sophisticated than our gifts and talent, because a lot of time when we say purpose deficit disorder, many people are thinking, find your passion, find your purpose. That's not what we're talking about. Put that on the shelf for right now. We're talking about how you make decisions. Now, there are two important decisions that every person on the planet make every day. We make decisions about what we become and what we do every day. Okay? That what we become is how we make those decisions to help us grow. What we do is the decision that we make, that's going to help us execute, what we know. I'm going to say that again. First decision is, the decision that we make on how we grow. Then the second decision is how we execute what we know, how we put into action what we know. So again, it's a decision on what you become as a person or what you become as a man, and a decision on what you do as a man. Now, Dr. Lily and I, my business partner, we've worked in this area for quite some time. We work with men and we work with women. Now we have the data to back this up. We can honestly say that women make more decisions in regards to what they become than men. Women are constantly working on developing themselves. Men, we're kind of lagging behind in that area. So PDD is wreaking havoc, on how men work on themselves. I'm going to say that again. PDD is wreaking havoc on how men work on themselves to become a better version of themselves. PDD is wreaking havoc on what we do as men. In other words, how we execute what we know, how we take our actions and align our actions with what we're thinking and speaking. In other words, showing up to do exactly what we say that we're going to do. PDD wreak havoc in those areas. So we got to understand that if we don't solve that problem in this generation, then it's going to trickle down to the generations that are coming after us. So if men are struggling, with PDD in this generation, then guess what? Just look a few generations back. You're going to see young men struggling with those two decisions. on how to become a better version of themselves and how to execute what they know. See, PDD is wreaking havoc in that area. And it's a blind spot. It's a blind spot in ministry. It's a blind spot in corporate training. It's a blind spot in success motivation. It is a blind spot that need to be addressed. That's the reason why we call it the disease, is because it lies at the core of how we make those important decisions. It's a disease of the soul, that we have to treat. So what we do, we have a lot of resources that we put together, men's group, men fellowship, men conferences, men talks, men forums, and we end up treating symptoms instead of treating the disease. When you go to the doctor, I don't want them to treat symptoms. I want them to treat something that's at the core root of why I am there. And this is why we have to make PDD a focus in 2023 and beyond, because it is the disease that is wreaking havoc in our community, especially among today's youth. Now, let me tell you a gentleman that I met over the years by the name of Nikos Morko Johannes. For years, I was his fan. He's a big purpose guy. He wrote the first book to corporate leaders, to CEOs on purpose. The name of the book is called Purpose, the Start of Great Companies. That was my first introduction to Nikos, because me being a CEO of my company, I wanted to know how purpose affected me as a CEO. So I became a fan of Nikos for years. And last year, Nikos actually reached out to the Purpose Development Institute, and Nikos became a fan of purpose development. Now, when you look at his credentials, Nikos was one of the co-founders of the Harvard School of Negotiations. He is an advisor to some of the most prominent CEOs, chairmen, and government leaders around the world. So he came to me and he made this statement. He said, Donald, purpose deficit disorder is a spot-on conceptualization of the greatest risk epidemic in our society. And I paused for a second and I went, whoa. I mean, that is one of the most powerful statements that we've ever made about PDD. Because if you want to know what PDD is all about, it is a risk epidemic. And that risk epidemic is huge among men. This is the reason why I say we can't just treat the disease. I would say the symptoms. We got to start treating the disease, because if we don't treat the disease, then the risk for men being under the influence of PDD is still there. And I see it happening over and over and over again. Again, we got a lot of resources. We got a lot of, conferences and gurus that's impacting men and doing a great job. Okay. Let me say that we're doing a great job inspiring men. But when you look at the three capabilities of the human soul can be inspired, it can be saved, and the human soul can harvest the energy of purpose. I'm going to say that again. When you look at the capabilities of the human soul that we discuss here at the Purpose Development Institute, there are three things that can take place. The human soul can be inspired. The human soul can be saved. The human soul can harvest the energy of purpose. Now, what we've done in the last several years when it comes to working with men, we mastered the first two. We've inspired men and we saved men. But one thing that we haven't done is teach men how to harvest the energy of purpose. That is a capability of the soul. And what PDD does, PDD shuts down our ability to harvest the energy of purpose. And if you can shut down that ability, you can soften the impact of that man in that community. This is the reason why you need to be a part of the Crushing Average TV community. This is the reason why you need to train at the Purpose Development Institute, because we have the only solutions in the world to reverse the effects of PDD, so that now men can activate that third pillar of the soul to increase their impact, to make decisions now that's going to put them in a place to reach their highest growth potential. Now they'll be able to make decisions on how to become a better version of themselves and how to execute what they know, on how to grow and execute what they know. That's the reason why purpose development coaching is important during this time and this season of our life. Not life coaching, not NLP and all the other forms of coaching, John Maxwell and all that stuff. No, we're not talking about those forms of coaching. They are great. We're talking about the form of coaching that allow you to build immunity against PDD, because that is what's wreaking havoc among men. And this is the reason why we need this skill set. That's the reason why we created the Certified Purpose Development Coaching Program, so that now we can transfer the skill set to help men understand how to reverse the effects of PDD. And not just help men, help women, help every person in our society understand how to reverse the effects of PDD. Hey, listen, I'm excited. I'm excited. Make sure you rewind this video, watch it over and over again. I didn't even scratch the surface. There's so much that I can unpack when it comes to PDD and men. So I appreciate you taking your time to watch this video. Again, subscribe to this channel. Share this video with every man in your network. If y'all got a men's group in your church, share this video with the men group in your church and tell them they need to train at the Purpose Development Institute so that now they can reverse the effects of PDD. Share it with your pastor. Share it with your boss. Share it with every man in your network. And again, make sure you like the video. Make sure that you comment on the video as well. I need to know what you're thinking. So again, God bless you. I look forward to sharing and unpacking more insight that's going to help you become PDI smart so that you can reverse the effects of PDD in your life. God bless you.